Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to a new episode of Takeaway Tip Tuesday. It is Tuesday, August 14th, and I'm your host, Ramona Remisad, intuitive guidance coach, speaker, and angel therapy practitioner, here to help you get clear, accurate, and reliable inner guidance at the snap of your fingers. Wouldn't that be good? When you need to know something, well, that's how you do it, by honing your intuitive muscle, and that's what I'm here to help you with. So today's episode has been inspired by one of the biggest challenges or problems that people encounter when they work with their intuitive guidance, and that's wondering if it's truly guidance or if it's something that they're making up in their head. Have you ever experienced this? If you have, post in the comments, let me know. I'm sure you are not alone. We've all kind of struggled with that at one point or another, and it's kind of like this ping pong ball match in your head where you go back and forth between, oh, this is great guidance, and then, oh, I'm totally making this up. Oh, no, but I think it really is. No, don't be silly, right? And you're kind of back and forth and back and forth. So that's what people encounter, and that's what makes it really hard when you're trying to really hone that intuitive muscle. So luckily there is a quick and easy fix for this, because you guys know I'm all about things that are easy. Nobody wants anything complicated, least of all me. So there is a great tool to help people who, number one, are really in their heads, and this might be the person, and maybe this is you, who honestly think that you can't get any guidance. Like, you've tried all the things, you've asked the questions, and you feel like nothing whatsoever is coming to you, or you do get into that match in your head, like I said, and you're really second guessing the guidance all the time. You're kind of judging it, so you don't really follow through because you don't really trust it. So if you're either of those, scenarios apply to you, then this tool is perfect for you. And the tool is working with angel cards or any kind of oracle card deck. So there's angel cards, there's tarot cards. I mean, there's cards all over the place, and the nice thing about these cards, though, is it does take us out of our head, right? It's an external tool, something external to us, so we tend to trust it more than relying on our own selves, right? If that makes sense. So let me know who's on, guys. I see you guys coming in here, so give me a wave, post something in the comments, let me know who's on, and thank you for watching. So here's the thing with cards, though, okay? First of all, actually, I should back up and say cards are great because they're pretty much easily accessible, right? We can go to any sort of big box bookstore in Canada. We have Chapters and Indigo. In the States, there's Barnes and Noble. It's really easy to get your hands on a deck of these cards, whereas a few years ago, maybe you would have had to go to like a metaphysical shop or a crystal store or something like that to be able to find them. Now you can get them anywhere. However, I do recommend supporting small business owners when you can, mostly though too, because they often have what I call demo decks. They have a deck of cards that are already opened that you can go through, you can touch them, you can feel them, you can see what they look like on the inside and see which deck sort of calls to you, which is kind of the way I shop for cards. I just kind of go in and I look around, and if I'm meant to go home with a deck, they come home with me, and yeah, I have maybe more than I need. But that's okay. So, here's just some examples. We have Angels of Atlantis oracle cards. We have Angels and Gemstones cards. We have, a bunch of Doreen Virtues cards, which are angel oracle cards. Then she also has the angel tarot cards. So it's a combination of those. There's, multiple decks, right? You can even just stick with the good old Rider-Waite deck, which is the traditional tarot deck, whatever. All right, so enough about that. Now let's get into the juicy parts. All right, so we know that we want to work with these cards because it gets us out of our head and helps us not second guess that guidance. But here's what most people do. You get your cards, you call on your angels, your guides, your deceased loved ones, God, your higher self, whoever, your team, and then you pull your cards. And then what do? Here's what people do. I'm going to demonstrate this. You immediately run to the little guidebook, right, that comes with the thing, and you're like, ooh, what does this mean? Ooh, what does this mean? And you're looking it up, right? So here's the problem with this. when you do that, you are going to get some ahas and some insight and some guidance on the next steps to take with regard to the question that you asked about, but you're really only getting half the reading. And the other part is that you're not building your own intuitive muscle. So this is kind of an analogy. It's kind of like if you had a personal servant who did everything for you and you never had to get up off the couch. Then one day you try to stand up and you crumple to the ground because your muscles don't work anymore, right? It's the same thing. If you're relying constantly on this little guidebook, then in those days when you have big, important, critical decisions to make and they're really like you've got a lot riding on that, and you try to get a sense of what your guidance is sharing with you on that, you might not be getting the full answer, or you might just kind of be getting crickets, really, especially if you try to do it without a tool. You're just tuning in on your own and you're like, I got nothing, right? So it's important for you to hone that intuitive muscle on sort of smaller things with less riding on it, and to practice every single day so that when you have those big critical moments, your intuition is on fire. You are like pumped, right? You're like, I've got this. So here's something I want to share with you that you can start practicing, and you're going to love this. So every day, this is my challenge to you, to do this every day for the rest of this week. Okay? And I don't care what deck you use. Most of you watching have a deck of angel cards or some kind of card deck. So again, call on your team, whoever it is that you call in when you do your readings. And first of all, ask that they give you clear and accurate guidance and help you take your ego out of the equation. That's how I always begin my readings. Then ask your question and then pull a card. But here's what I want you to do. Don't flip it over right away. Pull the card and see what you pick up from this before you even flip it over. Are you getting a sense of what the message might be? Do you feel an emotion? Do you get a sense of a word or an idea that pops into your head? Do you see something in your mind's eye? You may even want to close your eyes and see what comes through with that. Okay, so spend some time with that first, noticing what comes to you. And I would recommend that you write it down, partly because as you're writing, you're less tempted to judge it, right? So write it all down until you feel complete and then flip it over. Now, after you flipped it over, again, don't run and pick up your little guidebook that comes with it, right? Toss that out of the way. You don't need it anymore. What you're going to do is you're going to flip the card over and see where your eye goes first, or what you pick up from the card first. Right away, you might see a word jump out at you. You might all of a sudden have a physical sensation. You might be drawn to a color in the card, right? You might, again, have something that flashes kind of across your vision, or you pick it up in your mind's eye. After you've gotten that first thing, ask another question. Why? What intuition? Why are you making me look at this? Or why are you showing me this word? Right? What does blue signify to me? Why is that important to me? Maybe you'll feel like, oh, that reminds me of the ocean. Okay, well, what does ocean mean to me? Oh, that's indicative of my intuition. I always associate ocean with going within and getting my own, insights into things. Okay, so why would they be showing me that in relation to the question that I've asked? Right? So as you can see, it's asking a series of questions and being kind of an investigative reporter on this. And this is part of that getting information, getting guidance on demand. A lot of times we kind of ask for guidance and then we have to feel like we have to wait around until it decides to show up for us. But the thing is, you can keep probing, and as you probe, you're going to get little puzzle pieces. They aren't always going to come, very rarely is it going to come in a full explanation, but you're going to get little pieces. And as you gather those pieces, you start to place them all together and you see what the bigger picture is, or the bigger message is. So you kind of have to be, like I said, a little bit of a detective in all of this. But how you get to that bigger picture is keep asking those questions like a detective would, right? And probe and go deeper and deeper. And if something doesn't make sense, you're not stuck with it. This is another big aha for people. A lot of times people are like, oh, well, I didn't get what that was, so too bad for me. No, if you don't understand something, say, why are you showing me this? Or this doesn't make sense to me. Show me something in a way that will make more sense, right? So you can do that. People are like, you can do that? I'm like, yeah, you can do that. They're like, holy crap, right? Is this helpful, guys? Can you give me a comment? Give me some kind of feedback. Swipe to the left and you should see a little box open up and you can type something in there. You can send me some hearts or some thumbs up to let me know if this is helping. But this is a game changer. Honestly, it sounds, again, really simple and people are like, yeah, well, I don't know what that's gonna do. But the more you practice this, honest to goodness, you are gonna get such insights, even off of one card. And even when I do angel readings for clients, I take the picture. If we're doing a remote appointment, I will take a picture and send them the picture. If they're there in person, I will have them take a picture and I'll tell them, when you go home, take some time to sit with these cards. See what insights you're picking up. This is as much a part of the reading as what I'm sharing with you. In fact, this is giving you like a 2-for-1 reading. You know, it's how you get more bang for your buck by working with these cards. You know, this, whatever this is and this is great, but it's a starting point. It's not the whole picture. It's kind of like a conversation starter. And that's what I say with people when they come to me for a reading. I'll say, you know, I'm working with these angel cards. This is a conversation starter to get us into what they, you know, what your angels and guides and spiritual team want you to know right now. So that's kind of what it's about. This is a starting point, and then you dig deeper and deeper and deeper. So here's my challenge for you guys, okay? I want you to really embrace this, and the best way to really learn something is to implement, right? Too often, you know, we go to those weekend workshops and we're like, oh, this is the best thing since sliced bread, and then you come home on, you know, Monday and get back to real life and nobody ever uses what they learned in the workshop. So I don't want that to happen to you. I want you to embrace this and start using it right away, even today. So I encourage you, over the next few days leading up to the weekend, grab a deck of cards. Again, I don't care what kind you have, and do that. Pull the card, don't flip it over right away. See what you pick up from it just without even looking at it. And again, write everything down. Then once you've done that, flip it over, notice what's popping up at you first, digging deeper and asking those questions. And as you ask a question, write down what you get. So it's like having a little interview back and forth, and write it down. Again, because this gets you out of your mind of criticizing or second guessing or judging the information that you're picking up, right? Just keep digging and digging until you feel complete. And then you'll have some really awesome, deeper insights into what this card is really telling you, what messages are really coming forward right now. So I would love if you guys would do that every day, like I said, between now and the weekend, and post here. You know, I would love to see if you could put a picture of your card and say, this is what I got, and we can encourage one another. That's the first thing you need to do. The second thing you need to do is, I'm going to put a link here after this video, and I want to encourage you to go click that link and grab my free video series that I have, partly not just because they're awesome videos and they're going to really also help you, but I'm going to have some really great stuff. This is just the tip of the iceberg, and I want to share more stuff with you guys, okay, coming up. So I don't want you to miss out. You know, Facebook, it's hit and miss if you're going to get my information. Hey, Ariana, it's so nice to have you here. It's a bit hit and miss, right? Facebook. So if you click to get my videos, then you're definitely on my list. You're going to hear from me when I have more to share with you, again, because I want you guys to have this well-honed intuitive muscle. So like I said, you can get guidance at the snap of your fingers, not, you know, I need some help and you're waiting weeks and weeks feeling like you didn't get anything. That's not super helpful. So this came from also a big epiphany that I had recently, all around this ask for help, which is the big theme this year, and they weren't shutting up about it. So I knew there had to be something more, and I dug into that, and holy Hannah, whoa, it blew my own socks off. I thought I didn't even have, you know, nothing could faze me anymore in this realm, but this was a big woo. So I want to bring you guys some stuff that's gonna really change your life. And I know that sounds dramatic, but it honestly can. So those are the 2 steps. Post every day with your card and the insights you picked up, and get on that list to get the free videos, and I'll post it right after this video is done. And if this is helpful, share it out, guys. Other people, I'm sure, can benefit from this. So thank you for your time. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to next week's episode, and we'll see you then.